2,000-page monstrosity. Everybody take 1 page or half a page. If you find a member of Congress, ask them to explain it to you.
In the last Congress, we introduced several alternatives to Obamacare. The Democrats would not let them come up for votes on the floor, and they voted against them in a block in committees.
Nobody heard about those. Why? Because the dictatorial powers here in Washington, D.C., Nancy Pelosi and company, did not want anything to be heard of. In fact, she ran this House in a very dictatorial manner.
We go through the gate's closed, we'll go over the fence is too high, we'll pole vault in. If that doesn't work, we'll parachute in, but we're going to get health care reform passed.
Thank you, Lord. One purpose, and that purpose is to
We actually rolled a copy of the health care bill down the Capitol steps to show how long it was. And so Tea Party patriots were on this ground. They were on the other side of the Capitol at another occasion, on the other side on still another occasion. And at first were called AstroTurf Republicans. I don't know who they were trying to insult, the Republicans or the Tea Party patriots, but you know, Nancy Pelosi didn't like either one of us.
This initiative is funded by the high end. We call it AstroTurf. It's not really a grassroots movement. It's AstroTurf by some of the wealthiest people in America to keep the focus on tax cuts for the rich.
There's no reason for government to be dictating Americans' health care.
I am with the American people, and so are you.
Hail love, hail! 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 Hail love, hail!
On this vote, the ayes are 219, the nays are 212. The motion to concur in the Senate amendment is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
As I look out across this Capitol Hill, that you have swarmed and you have rung this Capitol Hill, thousands of you, for hours on end. I wanted to come down here so I could say to you, God bless you. And we will win the war. We'll win the war.
Almost a year ago today, I stood in this exact spot, and just in the aftermath of the vote in the House of Representatives that imposed Obamacare on this nation. I stood here and thanked everybody that came here to put up this fight, and thank you for coming from all over this nation by the tens of thousands. And I said, we will introduce the repeal, and we will vote to repeal Obamacare. That was that night. I went home and slept for a couple of hours, drafted the repeal of Obamacare, and introduced that legislation with 40 words, working with Michelle Bachmann on those words that said essentially, repeal Obamacare as if such act had never been enacted. That exact language is on the floor being debated right now in the House of Representatives on this day.
Obamacare, as we know, is the crown jewel of socialism. It is socialized medicine.
It destroys the relationship, the intimate relationship between a patient and a physician.
No disrespect to our president, but when it comes to the health of my mother, I don't want this president or any president or his bureaucrats or commissions making decisions for my loved ones. Let's repeal it today, replace it tomorrow.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today for the first time on the floor of the United States House of Representatives to make a case for a very important piece of legislation, namely H.R. 2, the Health Care Repeal Bill.
The American people spoke soundly and clearly at the ballot box in November, and they said to us, Mr. Speaker, in no uncertain terms, repeal this bill.
The new majority in the House of Representatives intends to stand squarely behind the American people.
This is exactly what we said we would do. In our pledge to America, we said if given the privilege of leading once again, one of the things we would do would be to vote in the House of Representatives to repeal Obamacare. And that's exactly what we're going to do.
On behalf of Tea Party Patriots, we want to thank the congressmen who are actually keeping their promises. So many times people make promises during their campaigns, and then they come up here and they drag their feet and they don't actually keep the promises they made. We're very appreciative of that, and we look forward to continuing to move this bill through the Senate.
Tea Party Patriots has been in Washington, D.C. working to repeal Obamacare. While we've been up here, we've been meeting with members of Congress, talking to them about what else we can do to ensure that this law is actually repealed. What we're doing is we're taking the power away from the Capitol in Washington, D.C. and bringing the power of who decides what's best for your health care back to you.
I think the test is going to be the next 2 to 4 years. If the Tea Party activists can stay the course and stay involved.
But it's going to take the grassroots all across America being activated, being engaged. We've got a big fight.
We are here in the majority because of grassroots movement. And as many Tea Party patriots came to Washington, D.C., there were millions more who could not afford it, who could not leave their families, could not get off work. They wrote letters to the editor. They talked to candidates. They threatened incumbents. All that stuff is part of what it takes to run a republic. And that's what we need people to do. Call our local offices. Write letters to the editor. Get on the YouTube. Send emails out to your friends. You can have a tremendous impact.
You're going to have to activate the grassroots all over this country. Activate we the people. And they have to start contacting their U.S. senators, contacting their congressmen, say, we want a different kind of governance. If not, we're going to throw you out of office and we're going to put somebody in place that will give us that kind of limited government that our founding fathers meant for this to be.
Today we take the first step on repeal. We need to march all the way through, all the way to the end when a president can sign the repeal, but shut off all the funding along the way. It's been your work, it's been your effort, and if you come forward in even greater numbers, we can sustain this debate until such time as we can look back on this day and say, what a deal. What a deal that the American people's voice was finally heard and the voice of freedom echoes throughout this land.
On this vote, the yeas are 245, the noes are 189. The bill is passed.
One down. Now we have that one to go. If they don't get it right, we'll go over there. Right. If they can't get it right, we'll bring it to our states. We're gonna repeal this bill. What do we say to the members of the House who just voted to repeal health care and kept their campaign promises?
Thank you! And God bless you!
Bless America!